Narration: 3 weeks before Jensen Huang took the stage in Washington, Dell, HP, and Lenovo were already sampling the chip designed to replace x86 on Windows. CNBC missed it. Bloomberg missed it. And the supply chain signal hiding in that detail is worth more than every breathless headline written about the keynote itself. /n/n This is the DGX Spark story. And before we go further, let me steelman the counter case, because the tech-literate audience deserves it. DGX Spark is not a mass-market consumer PC. It is a $3,000 to $4,000 developer workstation built on Nvidia's GB10 Grace Blackwell superchip. It is not walking into Best Buy next quarter. It is not, by itself, ending 44 years of Wintel dominance. Anyone telling you Spark kills Intel on Tuesday is selling you clickbait /n/n, but here is what Spark actually is. It is the wedge. It is Nvidia's beachhead into the $250 billion PC silicon TAM that Intel has anchored since 1981. And the encroachment vector is not the Spark workstation itself. It is the GB10 reference architecture, the MediaTek co-design ARM v9 core complex, and the Windows-on-Arm on Windows software bridge that ships with it. That is the actual story. And the OEM sampling timeline tells you Jensen is not bluffing /n/n. Start with the silicon. The GB10 packs 20 ARM v9 cores co-designed with MediaTek, a Blackwell generation GPU block, 128 GB of unified LPDDR5X memory, and 1 petaflop of FP4 AI compute. Those numbers are from Nvidia's own spec sheet published October 28. SemiAnalysis confirmed in their October 30 teardown that Fabrication runs on TSMC's N3 process, the same node feeding data center Blackwell Ultra. Single-sourced. Taiwan. That detail matters more than anything Jensen said on stage at /n/n. Now the underreported part. According to Nvidia's October 28 press release and corroborating DigiTimes supply chain reporting from October, Dell, HP, and Lenovo are sampling Spark reference designs right now. These are the same three OEMs that account for roughly 60% of global commercial PC shipments. They are not committing yet. They are taking optionality. And in this industry, optionality is how a duopoly bleeds out at the high end first. /n/n. Let's frame what Intel actually has at risk. Intel's client computing group generated approximately $30 billion in 2024 revenue, per Intel's 10K filing. Stack that on AMD's client segment and you get roughly the $65 billion annual x86 client CPU pool Mercury Research tracked in Q3 2025. The broader PC silicon TAM, including GPUs, memory controllers, and connectivity, is the $250 billion figure. That is the empire. Not ended. Encroached at /n/n. I want to be precise about the encroachment vector. The exposed slice is the workstation and developer tier. Intel's Xeon W and high-end Core HX lines, plus the premium mobile workstation segment Dell Precision and HP ZBook ship into. Conservative estimate based on Intel's 2024 segment disclosures and IDC workstation tracker data, that is $3 to $4 billion of annual Intel revenue directly exposed to GB10 class competition in the next 18 months. Not 30 billion. 3 to 4. But it is the highest margin 3 to 4 billion Intel ships, and it anchors fab utilization for the rest of the client portfolio, /n/n because ARM on Windows is not new. Microsoft launched Surface RT in 2012. It flopped. Qualcomm tried Snapdragon 835 in 2017. It flopped. The Snapdragon X Elite launched in June 2024 with Microsoft's full Copilot Plus marketing campaign. According to IDC's August 2025 PC Tracker, it captured just 1.5% of US laptop shipments in the first half of 2025. Software compatibility broke. Battery claims under-delivered. By September 2025, Reuters reported Qualcomm was reassessing its Windows roadmap. They retreated at /n/n. Jensen walked into the vacuum with something Qualcomm never had. Native CUDA on a Windows-class ARM part. 20 years of developer mindshare, ported to a new instruction set on day one. That is the asymmetric weapon /n/n. Here is what Wall Street has not priced. Microsoft needs ARM on Windows to work. The Copilot Plus initiative, the on-device AI strategy, the Surface roadmap, all depend on a credible ARM partner. Qualcomm could not deliver scale. Intel Lunar Lake is competent but power-hungry at the high end. AMD Ryzen AI is still x86. Nvidia showing up with a 1 petaflop ARM chip that runs the world's most entrenched AI software stack natively is not just a product launch. It is a lifeline for Satya Nadella's biggest bet of the decade /N/N according to The Information's November 2 reporting. Microsoft and Nvidia expanded their co-engineering agreement in September 2025, optimizing Windows 11 24H2 specifically for the GB10 architecture. Surface and Dell Premium SKUs are slated for late 2026. That puts Nvidia inside Microsoft's premier hardware line within 12 months. /N/N now zoom out to the foundry layer, because this is where the story gets dangerous. /N/Naviri Spark die is fabricated in Hsinchu. Every wafer rolls off a TSMC line. Morris Chang built TSMC on a single philosophy: be the foundry to everyone, compete with no one. That philosophy just made Taiwan the manufacturing base for the next generation of premium personal computers. /N/N TSMC's Q3 2025 earnings call revealed something striking. CFO Wendell Huang confirmed Nvidia had become TSMC's single largest customer by revenue, surpassing Apple for the first time. Apple, the customer TSMC built its 3nm node around, just got displaced. According to TrendForce October analysis, Nvidia now accounts for approximately 22% of TSMC's total revenue. That number was roughly 8% in 2023. /N/N This is geopolitical concentration nobody is pricing correctly. According to Boston Consulting Group's 2025 semiconductor study, 92% of the world's leading-edge logic, defined as 5nm and below, is manufactured in Taiwan. Spark deepens that dependency. Historically, every Intel PC routed through Intel's own fabs in Arizona, Oregon, Israel, and Ireland. Every Spark PC routes through Hsinchu, 100 miles from the Chinese mainland. /N/N This is where the CHIPS Act collides with reality. Nvidia has committed to Arizona production. TSMC's Phoenix Fab 21 began N4 production in late 2024 and is ramping N3 in 2026, per TSMC's investor materials. The $52 billion of CHIPS Act funding was supposed to onshore exactly this kind of strategic capacity. But here is the catch. Even the Phoenix fab depends on Taiwan for mass production, advanced packaging, and the most sensitive process steps. The CoWoS advanced packaging that gives Spark its memory bandwidth, according to SemiAnalysis, remains overwhelmingly Taiwan-based through at least 2027. /N/N So when Jensen says Spark is the future of personal computing, what he is really saying is that the future of personal computing routes through Hsinchu. /N/N Now Beijing's response, because every chip war story has one. /N/N On October 9, China expanded export restrictions on rare earth processing equipment and technology, per the Financial Times. These materials feed the magnets and motors inside every fab tool Nvidia's suppliers operate. China controls, per U.S. Geological Survey 2025 data, approximately 70% of global rare earth refining. The leverage is real and it is being used. /N/N Huawei is not standing still. Their high-silicon Kirin PC chip, sampling in late 2025 according to JW Insights, is fabricated by SMIC on a 7nm class node. It will not match Spark on absolute performance. But it will own the Chinese domestic PC market by policy. Lenovo, the world's largest PC vendor, is reportedly preparing dual-track product lines. Nvidia Spark for export markets. High silicon for mainland China. The PC industry is bifurcating along geopolitical lines in real time. /N/N Now the falsifiable predictions, because this is where the audience needs precision. /N/N Prediction 1. Intel's Q4 2025 client computing revenue prints below $7.5 billion, with workstation and high-end mobile leading the decline. If it prints above $8 billion, my thesis is weakened. Prediction 2. ARM Holdings PC royalty revenue, currently a rounding error per their Q2 fiscal 2026 disclosures, crosses 3% of total royalty mix by Q4 2026. Every Spark-derived chip pays ARM a per-unit royalty at premium ASPs. Prediction 3. TSMC CoWoS client allocation, currently near zero, rises above 10% of total CoWoS output by mid-2026. Watch that line on the Q1 and Q2 earnings calls. If client allocation rises above 10%, the spark thesis is real. If it stays below 5, Nvidia is shipping a dev kit, not a platform/N/NAND. Here is the structural question Jensen did not answer on stage. What happens to Intel Foundry Services? Pat Gelsinger bet the company on becoming a contract manufacturer competing with TSMC. He departed in December 2024. His successor inherited a foundry business that, according to Intel's Q3 2025 earnings, posted operating losses in the multi-billion-dollar range over the trailing 12 months. Without high-volume premium client CPU demand to anchor fab utilization, the unit economics get harder. Spark does not kill Intel Foundry, but it removes a tailwind Intel was counting on /N/N. So back to the framing. Did Jensen end Intel on October 28? No. That is clickbait. What Jensen did was reframe the threat. Intel's real competitor in 2026 is no longer AMD on x86 server share. It is Nvidia on ARM client share, with Microsoft holding the door open, MediaTek doing the core design heavy lift, and TSMC handling fabrication. That is a forefront strategic problem, and Intel is fighting it with a foundry business that is still scaling and a client roadmap that just lost optionality at the high end /N/N for consumers. The picture is simpler. Your next premium laptop may not be Intel inside. It may be Nvidia inside, MediaTek co-designed, TSMC fabricated, ARM underneath, and Microsoft on top. The Wintel coalition that defined personal computing since 1985 is not ending with a press release. It is being quietly disassembled at the workstation tier first, then the premium mobile tier, then the middle /N/N. If you want to see the next export control, the next foundry pivot, the next geopolitical shockwave before CNBC catches up, subscribe to Chip Wars. This is the inside track on the Silicon Cold War. Next week, we are answering the question Wall Street will not touch on air. What happens to TSMC's stock the day Beijing announces a full Taiwan Strait blockade exercise? Subscribe so you see the next export control before CNBC does. Hook_text, 3 weeks before Jensen, Dell was already sampling. Scenes. Desk, cinematic wide shot of a darkened keynote stage in Washington, D.C., single spotlight on a hand holding up a small silicon module, photorealistic, 8K, shallow depth of field, no text.